Hey YouTube, good evening. How y'all? Let's see if anybody's here first. I'm only coming on because something I just saw disturbed me so much. Now I know, y'all all smart enough to know that we all always looking for a reason to get on, right? We got to have justification and a reason to get on every night. Hi people. Hi Deacon Jude, Elaine, Princess A. Well, what disturbed me? Hi Miss Motown. Thanks for coming in, honey. Distant love. Well, I want to come on here because what I saw was so disturbing to me. Brianna Symone, listen to me. You don't owe that nigga nothing. That boy comes on and talks about you like a fucking animal every single day. I have been so offended. That's really the reason why I don't like his ass, because of the way he comes at you every single fucking day. You and Tracy, it's like it's all his whole life is just insulting you and Tracy. So it disturbs me to see you coming on here and actually speaking up for that boy of all people. Brianna, come on now. Maybe you figure this is how it appears, like this is a way to get him off your back. No, he's going to continue to dog you out. So don't be a victim to Stockholm syndrome where now you are sympathizing or empathizing with your abuser, because he is an abuser. He's an abusive person, and for whatever reason, he's chosen you to single out for his abuse. I'm sure they can find somebody else on here if they want to have an argument about the finances of Rebel Son. You don't need to do that. It's not a good look. It offends me. It offends all sensibilities, honey. That man is an abuser, and he's abusing you. You are his victim. So what happened, people, was apparently this Rebel Son, he done gotten some squabble with this other crazy woman, Bama girl. Him and Bama girl going over about lies about his 401k and all the thing that he throws up to everybody. I got a 401k. I got 2, 3 401ks. Oh, I got four. Girl, handle your business. Handle your business. Brianna, you I can't accept it, honey. So I hope you take this in the right way and you're not offended by me inserting myself or my opinion on that particular situation. But I feel very strongly about it. You don't look good sitting up here trying to defend Rebel Son. Do you know? Have you watched his videos? Go back and listen to the last 15 of his videos, girl. It goes back further than that. I'm just saying, pull a number out of the top of my head. The last 15 of his video is all about your weight. Don't do that to yourself, honey. If people do not respect you, you do not respect them. Simple as that. They treat you like a dog, they are a dog as well. They call that the Stockholm syndrome, honey, when you are starting to, don't do it. Anyway. Hey there, Tropical Punch. How y'all tonight? What is going on? I'm watching this wonderful series on hi Brianna Symone. Honey, don't take it the wrong way, please. I don't like Rebel Uncle Tim. Okay. Well, don't stick up for him. Let somebody else do it. No, honey, as far as you're concerned, fuck me, fuck you. You got to give respect. If you can't give respect, you don't deserve anything, honey. It doesn't make a difference if that girl's lying on him or not. Let him handle his own goddamn business. No, I just didn't like the look of that. It almost feels like a woman after she done been beat up by her man and she's over here kissing his ass, talking about what a good man he is. He's not a good man. He just punched you in your face. But she is huge. Okay, wait a minute. Now, who is this? See what I mean about respect, though? This person who calls herself Brianna Symone Pickerville, whatever it is, we're going to block her for her disrespect. We're going to hide her from ever appearing on this channel again. For her, and this is that simple, honey. You ain't got to respect these people. They're animals, honey. Treat them like animals. At the very least, don't be signing on to defend them. So maybe you were just saying that that girl is a liar, but we all pretty much figured that out. I'm not mad or upset, Uncle Tim. I would never be mad at you. Oh, you're so sweet. Right. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about it. Sweetheart. That's all I wanted to say about it. I try not to jump in other people's beefs and other people's arguments and other people's stuff. But that really, 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 really bothers me. I mean, the way he comes at you for no reason at all. And the things that he says, that's you can't forgive that. You can't get past that. Let that bullshit go, honey. They want to chop his head off. Chop, chop. Chop suey, bitch. What else is going on? How y'all doing today? How are y'all doing on today, honey? Let me see if there's anything else going on here. Or what done happened? You notice that the dead man got them all over there. He don't give a damn who's on there, child. Worst thing they could have did was give him a fucking what do you call that shit? StreamYard. That motherfucker sell his soul for $1. Anyway. So from other thing I saw today, I saw the way that this boy Wilson came at Deanna Irving. Y'all know I like Deanna Irving. It's not a secret. And she was on here. He was on there saying all this shit, calling this woman's husband a pussy. This is what I mean about respect, people. Now, all the arguments, all the beefs I get into, all this kind of shit, right? I don't be on here calling straight men's pussies. He does this with such abandon, no sense of respect at all. Now, why are you going on there and trying to humiliate that man about his ability to provide for his family? Issues that could be sensitive around their family. You don't know why people are with their parents. You don't know shit. They might be cutting expenses because their parent can afford to have somebody come in there to be with them every goddamn day. What does he know about it? All this shit that he was saying. So it didn't bother me when she came back calling him the things that she called him. He should have expected that. What do you expect when you are on here insulting that girl's husband? What has her husband got to do with you being in the beef with Dan Irving online? Disrespecting a man like that. Now that man would have every right to get to you and kick you in your asshole, Jay Wilson. And I don't know why he can't seem to understand that. He has no sense of what respect is. I can go through a whole lifetime and I don't be out there calling straight men bitches and hoes and all this kind of shit. And particularly not to their wife. Not only it's bad enough you're over here insulting this man's wife. We could accept that and say, well, she's on YouTube, whatever. She got to deal with herself. But you're insulting her husband? How much nerve did that take? So then when she slaps you back upside your head with language that we know is going to offend everyone, it's because you have given her no other options, Wilson, because your level of disrespect is so extreme that the only point now is to hurt you. Damn, you people, see, there's not anything in you. It's like something is missing in your minds where you don't know what respect is. And I really believe that, people. I believe these people, they don't know what it is. They can't have a beef. They can't have an argument. They don't understand what basic general respect is. How you beef with somebody like that? How does it not always go to the darkest places possible? You're fortunate that man lives far away from you, Wilson. What the fuck are you talking about? His inability to hold a job, or his inability to provide for his family, or them living with whoever the fuck they live with. What? Girl, this is what I mean about these people, dealing with these people like the dead man. I guess he figures that he is untouchable. Yet he wants to go and applying for all these shows and show 2.0. Boy, if you ever show up anywhere, your life is in danger. Don't you understand that? Don't you understand that there are certain things you say to people, they will never let it go. You even talked about her mother. They will never be able to let it go. Don't you understand that? You're liable to get cracked in your head with something, boy. So anyway, no, I don't take no offense to whatever she said to him. She said whatever she said to him to hurt him. Like he tried to dig into her family, dig into her life. She did the same for him. So that was another bad thing I saw today. I ain't got no business of my own, so I'm just minding y'all's on tonight. Mm-hmm. She must didn't hear how he read her down yesterday. Who? She must have. Brianna. He does it every day. He does it every day, like it's his job to do that. Same thing with Tracy. Every line has got to be a punchline about either Brianna or Tracy. What kind of sense does that make? He's a man. I mean, it'd be different if they were coming after him and they were going back like that, but they haven't even done anything to him. And the things that you would say to a young woman like that is so inappropriate. It shows what the character that he lacks. Doesn't have any character, and he doesn't have any respect at all. And he somehow or other, the rebel son, thinks he's tough. He thinks somebody won't crack him in the head with a beer bottle. I don't know what this shit is, where people feel invincible. I don't know no invincible niggas. I don't know any. I ain't met a motherfucker yet, girl, who can't be touched. What else going on? Ooh, child. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing else happening? Y'all got to bring me the news, honey. I better been on here today. I've been watching this fabulous series on Amazon about this fashion house, right? I think it's called, what the hell is it called? Lord have mercy. I just found it today. Anyways, it's about this fashion house. It's a murder mystery, but it is fantastic. I have watched all day. I'm in the 5th episode. They're over an hour. Each one is over an hour. What is it called? Is it called Collection? I think might be called Collection. It's something like that. But it's excellent. It's excellent. Unless y'all types that only watch black people. They're not black. I'm sorry. Well, actually, they have black characters in there, and it takes place in Paris. And the black characters have good roles in there. And so since it's about the 1930s and 40s, usually you don't find black characters in these movies. America didn't do it because usually when they showed a black person in a movie depicting the 30s or 40s, they would always have them either the maid or they would have them as the driver or some shit like that. No, these people are actually reporters, and one works in the fashion house, but she has a good position in the fashion house, so they got good roles. Anyway, it's an excellent series, and I believe it's called Collection. It's about two brothers and a mother who are in charge of this fashion house. I'm gonna probably finish it tonight because I think there's 7 episodes in the first season. Anyway, that's what I've been doing all day long. Mm-hmm. I know some of y'all done seen it. I gotta catch it. No, Bree wasn't necessarily defending him. She was more defending, talking about 401k or the knowledge she has about how 401k works. But not for him, honey. Let that motherfucker fight his own battles. Mm-hmm. They talking about, oh, I touched the dick in the. It's so nasty. Ooh, that's a nasty ass person. I can't deal with these nasty people. I'm sorry, honey. A whole conversation about what he touched in the what do you call it, in the whirlpool with QB of all people. Oh, we didn't pull him out of our pants. Oh, I touched it through the. Oh, you touched it through the pants. That's just as nasty, nigga. You're nasty. Can't even go on a damn trip with QB of all people. Lord have mercy. So anyway, that ain't interesting to me. Oh, nasty stuff. They are nasty, shush, Trish. Mm-hmm. Grabbing all on each other, bragging about it like you did. Oh, I just touched it through the pain. Why you got to touch it anywhere? Damn, can't you go on a trip with somebody without putting your fingers all over people's ass? Mm-hmm. Hi, soul sister. Soul sister. Check out Conscious TV. He's reading the court case. Okay, I'll have to go over and see that. I did start watching that just before I came on here. I am curious about that case, but all the people involved, with the exception of Larry Reed himself, make my stomach. They make my stomach just bundle up when I think about those names because of the characters involved. So I don't want to get involved in that case. And that, besides, I have a great deal of respect for Larry Reed. So we're just hoping for the best outcome there. We pretty much know what it's going to be, but you got to go. It's a damn shame you got to go through this whole process just to get people off your ass. Lord have mercy. Uncle Tim McKinney Mac Phelps Jr. is finally home after doing 20 years in prison. Now, what did he do? Well, whoever, he got out after 20 years. I'm not familiar with the story. I don't know. McKinney McPhillips. I'll have to look up the story. And yet, something how the people can be in prison forever, and then 20 years later they find the damn DNA, and they finally takes 20 years to convince them to test the DNA. Of course, a lot of those years they didn't have DNA, but now, I mean, a lot of people have been proven innocent or released. And some states apparently don't want to give them any money or anything. You just want to take people 20 years of their life and don't give them shit. That's wrong. And that should be illegal. They should definitely, but the amount they give them is such a penalty little amount, 50, 60 bucks per day. But when you add it up 20 years, they come out with a few $1 million. That's the way it should be. At least, that's the least they could do. You set them and their family up. And hopefully they won't run into somebody like the dead woman to steal all the money. Mm. Courtney Miller will be next to go home. See, y'all guys, you're following the system. After I left prison, I didn't want anything to do with prison. I don't even watch prison stories, and that's no excuse for not watching, the stories of exoneration and so forth. But I can't watch a prison movie. That Orange is the New Black thing. I said, well, Mary, watch that. I can't make it to one scene, honey. I don't want to see no more Orange. But we're glad that people are dedicating their lives to getting people out if they are innocent. They haven't committed the crimes. Criminal justice system. Yeah, a lot of times it just comes down to money. Honey, I've been in jail and my bail was $50 and I didn't have $50 to get out. So I just had to stay in jail. These people in here accused of attempted murder, they get out. I'm sitting up here on $50 bail for stealing something or something. I can't get out because I ain't got no money. So definitely favors people with money. They stretch it out and stretch it out and stretch it out and come up with the lightest sentence possible. Shouldn't be that way. Justice should be blind, honey. Then add in all the prejudices of the people's involved. But I do think a lot of it has to do with how much money you got. Not to say, I'm not saying you're paying off judges and all that. I'm just saying that you're able to hire the very best minds, the very best people who know the most tricks, the most crafty lawyers that can get you off or certainly get you the best sentence possible. Hi, Tara. Is it pronounced Terja? Thank you for the super chat. Number one fan with you little emoji. Yeah, yay, yay. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'll just read my book, Prima Wanda. Let me see. Let's see if anything else going on here. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I'm not missing any hot topics for tonight. Okay, Wally's talking about after tea show, about the tea after show. Okay. Went in on Tasha. Okay. Wally looks mad tonight. Let me see what else is going on here. All right, we got to go over here to Conscious TV and find out the latest on that. Bama Girl and Rebel Son. Who is this person? Stop Lying TV. They've been doing a pretty good job of capturing some of these beefs. I think they're pretty new too. Stop Lying TV. Let me give a shout out to Stop Lying TV. They treated me pretty fairly in a couple of videos. They're just
a liar, and whoever don't like you.
Wait a minute, I gotta go see some more of that. Y'all check her out. She's just been encapsulating some of these beefs that go on a daily basis. I saw on YouTube, bro, in jail 43 years, and he's innocent. The actual duo that did it, the crime, confessed, did their bit, and got out. Dude with 43 years. Oh my God. And he's still in jail, Lisa Jackson. It's a damn shame there. Even though they know he's innocent. A lot of these people feel like you're guilty. Well, you were there, or you were guilty, you doing other stuff and all. No, honey. If I did not do that particular crime, and someone else is doing the time for the crime, have done the time for the crime, have confessed to the crime, and most importantly, had their DNA at the crime, you have to let me go. I'm innocent. Damn what you think. I don't give a fuck if you think I'm a pimp or whatever you think I am. You have to catch me with a crime. You can't just put people away. Hopefully the guys that get exonerated, hopefully they become rich people. That's all you can do. I mean, after it's been done, I'm sure there's been a whole lot of tears shed over that. It's been done. All you can do then is at least compensate them. Their work life is probably basically over. I mean, they can't make a living after that. Hi, Teresa Hopkins. I'm doing okay tonight. I'm just getting a late start. I just want to give my sister Brianna a word there. But ain't no major tea going on, as far as I know. It's only done to Black people. This has been done for years. I mean, it's a horrible thing, but it is the truth. They don't kill them in the street. Then they'll just empty their dockets by putting somebody in jail. As long as they got a hot body, honey. Yeah, we've been treated unfairly. Poor people across the board have been treated unfairly. I mean, people like to think, I guess we always think that white people are so privileged and all that. But no, that's not true. There's a whole lot of poor-ass white people. I mean, I've been to prison many times. There are a lot of poor-ass white people. They're sitting up in there too, child. There are a lot of white people on welfare. A whole lot of white people poor and stupid like us. I'm gonna get some flack for that. Stupid, like, I mean, let me just erase that. Take back that last statement. Ain't it stupid like us? I'm just saying they're in the same position as us many times, right? If they're poor. If they're poor. Rich people get treated a whole lot differently than poor people. Even if, even on the arrest. You get arrested in certain neighborhoods, honey, they're liable to shoot your ass. In other neighborhoods, it's no big deal. I mean, when I was selling drugs, I mean, white people bought drugs just as much as Black people. Even though some are poor, you know what I'm saying? They get high just as much. Many times, people with wealth, they have more instances of spoiled children than poor people do. They get high. They fuck up. They do all kind of things. Their parents get them off over and over and over again until they just become full-grown assholes. Yes, they definitely. Honey, there's some of these small towns in the United States. The whole town is dependent on one factory, right? When the factory closed down, everybody goes on welfare. That's just the reality of it. A lot of that happened with the motor industry. They were just factory workers. It wasn't like they had a lot of job opportunities living over in Buck Tussle some damn where, right? So, yeah, race is a huge part of it. And also, I think class, money. Money opens the door. People, wait a minute. I always thought of a song. Money. I don't want to sing money, 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 money again. Everybody sings money, 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 money. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. They say the best things in life are free, but you can give that to the birds and the bees. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. So you know how many people, rich people in Hollywood were on cocaine back in the 70s, 80s? Please. It was epidemic among rich people. Poor people couldn't afford that drug, but most of them didn't end up in prison. They doing cocaine and you doing crack. What's the difference? Money. Where the money reside, where the money reside. Mm-hmm. You can give them to the birds and to the bees. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. Mm-hmm. What else happened today? Miss Britney Spears, she's fighting for her freedom. Apparently, her father has been the executor. What is that the right word? I'm sure it's the wrong word. Hold on, let me take this pill out of here. Whew. Get comfortable. These old bones that ain't been to a gym in a year and a half. Yeah, Miss Britney Spears. Now, I guess they think Britney Spears is half crazy, so she has had an executor, which is her father, who is basically just takes care of her money, so she doesn't blow it and end up broke or in the nut house, right? And now she's petitioning conservative. I think it's a conservator. She has a conservator, which is her father. But we saw that with Macaulay Culkin. Remember how his father was the conservator and ended up stealing all the damn money? And you have all them Hollywood stories with all these child stars that the parents have been living off the money and ain't nothing left when the kid comes of age. Well, she's feels like she's mature enough now. She's calmed down some, and she wants to have her freedom and her money back, her freedom to make her own decisions. So, of course, I haven't followed the story. It's not like I'm a Britney Spears fan or anything like that. But that's what people have been talking about today. I don't know if a result was reached, but I think she gave her testimony on today. They say the best things in life are free. Huh? You can give that shit to the birds and to the bees. I want money, honey. That's what I want. Who did that first? Earth the Kid? Earth the Kid did a beautiful rendition of it. I forget the little R&B group, not R&B group, a little rock group that did it recently. Most recently. Gary Coleman had that issue with his parents. Well, it must not have worked out well on the tape because he was working as a security guard. Remember? Gary Coleman, he definitely died broke. Remember all the incidents he was involved in? Then he started working as a security guard. Security guard is minimum wage, or very close to it. We assume everybody's rich because they're on television. It's not necessarily so, honey. If they haven't been on for a few years and they haven't been getting any income, they could very easily spend through what they had. If you got your parents spending it while you're making it, then what do you get? Time you come of age, the money's gone. Ain't it funny how sometimes money can turn your life around? Sadie Mae, don't you know we were loving you, sweet Sadie? Okay, so the line was, sometimes it seems so funny when no money can turn your life around. Mm-hmm. I am happily retired from all that kind of carrying on, child. I was only a criminal because I was a drug addict, though. I don't think I even would have done anything if that wasn't the motivation. That dope will make you get up off your ass, though, honey. That was it. It wasn't no master criminal. Natia Price. The pandemic exposed how a lot of people are just as broke as me. Yes, God. They say that the average American family or the average American individual or person cannot survive a $450 emergency without borrowing or selling something. And that's something people are living not only paycheck to paycheck, right? $450 emergency, they got to borrow something or sell something. The majority of Americans. 1% means 1%, honey. Everybody else is struggling, paying their bills. Money may not always make you happy. Actually, I think money makes you miserable. Because we're not this in this series that I'm watching now. All the people, the richer they are, the more snooty they are, and the more nasty they are. I used to work in department stores in Beverly Hills, and the richest people were the most snooty. They expected more from you. They were never happy with everything. People were trying to get stuff from them all the time. So it definitely doesn't make you happier. You know, to have more toy, you get used to it. You know, after you get that Mercedes, you drive it around for a few months, then you just drive a Mercedes. It's not as exciting anymore, right? And then you need something else, some other marker of your success. But you'll never be satisfied if you're dependent on money to make you happy, right? I mean, I don't know what makes anybody happy all the time. Nobody's happy all. You're still gonna have struggles whether you're poor or rich. Frankly, I would rather be rich and have problems. You still gonna have a husband that cheats on you, a wife you don't trust. Mm-hmm. A lot of times when they get in financial difficulties too, they get in big financial difficulties, honey. You know how many people, how many rich millionaires jumped off buildings when the stock market crashed, the big crash? There were no poor people jumping off them buildings. Mm-mm. Y'all need to watch American Greed. American Greed. You will see all the things that people do for money. Thank you, Carful. I'm so adorable. Oh, you feel good when an old person called adorable. Like a Teletubby. mm. Yeah, poor people, they fight more, they do more shit, you know, they drink more, you know. Divorce more. But you see how a lot of the marriages in Hollywood, though, you see how them people, they all millionaires. He's a millionaire, she's a millionaire, and they still get divorced in 5 years, you know. I think the big problem with them, with those Hollywood type celebrities, are first of all, they have access to so many people throwing themselves at them, and then they're away from each other so long. You know, they go do make a movie and they're gone for 6 months. Anybody sitting up in their trailer for 6 months and not doing nothing, you know. But it's not going to assure your happiness. They try to put laws in where The man can't walk away so easily. He has to think a long time, particularly in these states where it's community property. uh, in the old movies, they used to call it, oh, he had an indiscretion. In other words, we know he do it, but we ain't supposed to know about it. You watch, oh, Miss Motown, I'm sorry. Forgive my my mouth, girl. I meant that from the bottom of my soul, though. Mm. I guess a lot of these people on YouTube are much younger. They have a lot of much more. First of all, they don't understand respect and things that we would take for granted as a more mature person. They haven't even learned those lessons yet, right? Now it amazes me when people, I ain't saying no names, Wilson, 50 years old and still carrying on like teenagers. But a lot of them are just not mature people. So it feels strange to me for me to be sitting up here arguing with somebody in their 20s, right? We don't even see the world the same way. So a lot of this stuff I got to just back up out of. One thing about the streets, they'll teach you a lot of life lessons, honey. First of all, they'll teach you about respect. It is so, so important. You know when people are doing serious time now because they feel like somebody dissed them? That's all it was. They dissed me. They bumped into me, didn't say excuse me. Basic type stuff, honey. And then when you get in the pen, forgive me, y'all don't like pen stories, but when you get in prison, these people have been stripped of everything except their underwear and jumpsuit. The only thing they have in their view is respect. You have to respect me. So don't take the only thing I have. Right? So people get fucked up behind disrespect. So some things you do learn out there, I think. Basic things, maybe things you should have learned in your household, but we don't know what some of these households are. We don't know shit. People come here and talk about, oh, it was wonderful, it was fabulous. Really? Soul sister, I read one book about the riots in prison. That was enough for me. You would have thought something after the first 9 times would have been enough for me, but no, it took that 10th one. Actually, it took me somebody attempting to rob me to change my mind, or even because I thought I had it going on, and I had a high step when I walked down the street. I thought I had it going on, but that boy got my attention, and then after that, God just came in, you know. But before that happened, I didn't know I had a problem. I knew I went to prison every year, but I thought that was part of the price I had to pay for doing what I wanted to do. Then I got clean. I realized, God damn, you mean I ain't got to go through all that struggle no more? I don't have to be looking over my back, this side for the cops, this side for the robbers, that side for the scammers. Lord, you know, when the hell I go back? I'd rather be dead than go back to that. Ain't no way. It ain't no way. Ain't no way. A rich man's high. You talking about cocaine? Well, my point with the cocaine was that at that time in the 70s, 80s, they were doing more drugs than we were. I mean, I lived in Los Angeles, but they had a bigger problem with cocaine with wealthy people, Hollywood types, singers, stars, people, celebrities. They were spending millions of dollars on drugs, a lot more than people in the street were. But the ones in the streets are the ones that end up with 20 and 30 years. Those people didn't, I don't know if any of those stories, them people ended up in prison. A lot of them end up dead, you know. But they had to pay. You know, you had to pay. Lawyers were strung out too. The riots, oh, they have little baby riots all the time. When was prison reform? It was before I started going. It used to really be tough. That's where people get all of this ideas of everybody getting raped and, you know, their booty hole getting taken. A lot of this, I never saw not one incident of that. I went to prison 10 times. And I knew the gay people talking amongst each other. People wanted to be with the homosexuals. That's all, it's close, especially if they're doing life. That's the closest they're ever going to get to relationships. So all that rape, maybe it would happen in something like a level 4 or 5 prison. But in those places, you're barely out of your cell. Level 4 or 5 prison. You come out in the yard for an hour and a half. And a lot of times you there under armed guard. And sometimes even on the yard by yourself if you're on death row. So, but a lot of people use that tactic to scare people. I mean, there are things just as bad, if not worse, than rape in prison, like being stabbed. So it still ain't no wonderful place. Ain't nothing good about it. Somebody telling you what time to get up, what time you're going to take a piss, what time you're going to take a dump. Yes, sir. No, sir. Move over here, move over there, and all this shit. Pack up your shit. You're moving to another role. Shake down, shake down. They come and tear your cell up and rip apart your little letters and stuff. Throw everything in the goddamn toilet. Ain't nothing good about it, baby. If you won't let me, ain't no way, ain't no way, ain't no way. I don't know the words. Weed and heroin are only illegal due to racism. Well, heroin will kill your ass, though. Honey, heroin will kill your ass. So I don't know if drugs like that should be legal. I'm not an advocate of that. Meth, crack, heroin, cocaine. Those drugs. I mean, if you're rich, you just go and buy your drugs, right? And you go in your house and kill yourself. That's one thing. But if you're poor and you're all hooked on these drugs, you have to do crime, and nobody gonna hire you to be sitting up there tweaking. Can I help you, ma'am? Oh, can I help you? Yes, it is that bad. At least that's the effects of meth. Plus, you can't concentrate. You're useless. You would have to have some kind of hustle. You have to. So our hustle would be you guys. That's what a criminal is. And then if you're fortunate, their hustle will be something like ripping off department stores or something like that. But that just drives the prices up. But at least it's not directly on you. But there are many people breaking houses. There are many people who use women. There are many people who break in cars. There's all kinds of stuff involved with doing drugs. So I don't think that those kind of drugs should be legal. No, I don't. I'm not an advocate of that. But I think marijuana should definitely, and it is becoming legal everywhere. You know, but yeah, drugs will make you do crime. You think about a person who's out there hustling, right? They made $500 today. That's an all right piece of change, right? $500 a day, and by the end of the night, they're bumming nickels and dimes to get a donut. That's what drugs is. Probably half of it was spent on ripoffs, where they done bought a peanut or something. And they go back and they rip somebody else off or rob somebody else. And a lot of crimes don't even get reported because a lot of it are against other drug addicts and drug dealers. They just rip each other off, you know. I walked into many person's room. We used to be in hotels, you know. Walked into the room and then realized, isn't that my lamp? And you see all your shit around the other person's room. It's because the motherfuckers been stealing from yours and going to selling to them, and vice versa. Tweakers have so much junk around, you can't tell what's missing. No, it ain't off at work. Oh, Lord. Yeah, stay away from them opiates, especially. And I guess now the big thing is pills, where people are forging prescriptions. I don't know. I never got pain pills didn't really affect me because I was just on pain pills when I had surgery recently. I think they had me on, was it Klonopin or something? One of these drugs, pain medications. I took it, and after a couple of days, I mean, after I took it by doctor's orders, but there was no residual effect. I need another one. Give me one more. Oh, can I have two more, sir? There was none of that. you know, but that wasn't my drug. My drug was always speed. So I would avoid anything with speed in it, aside from coffee and energy drinks. Bill and Hillary started that mess. What mess did they start? Charging people for that for specifically for crack. That was fucked up. Poorest people, most pitiful people on earth. Those are the ones you give all the time to. And the ones who are wealthy, who make money, well, a lot of them got rich off drugs. They don't do any time. They can be rehabilitated. If you wanna do right all night, woman, you got to be a do right all night, man. Who give me that? Miss Taretha Hopkins. It's the truth, honey. Don't expect me to do what you ain't gonna do. A lot of men like that though, honey. A lot of gay men like that too. My husband, he had gypsy feet. He liked to get out there and be adventurous, but then he would be devastated if I did it. He said, "That's not you. You don't do that." How you gonna tell me what I don't do? Anyway, they want you to do the right thing, mama, and then God knows what they doing. Got a whole other child on the other side of town. Fortunately, most women are not nasty as these men's is, though. These men's is nasty. What happened with him, Lady X? I'm curious about that. That's the McAfee guy. Please stop looking at my ass. I got to cover up. There's people like Rebel Sun around. Nasty. You allow a little air in here. They say that it's a man's world, but you can't prove that by me. Show some respect to me. Oh no! What happened? McAfee killed himself? Wait a minute. Oh shit! Hold on. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Is that the same story? Okay, did y'all hear about the guy who invented McAfee antivirus? Yes, Uncle Tim. Okay. Goonies never say die. Committed suicide in a cell. Committed crimes for years. Yeah, his main crime was he killed his neighbor. Hold on one second, people. I'm just going to get the headline. 1 second. What was his first name? McAfee. Let me see. McAfee dead. Oh, he got found dead in a Spanish prison. Lord have mercy. See what I mean by money don't solve all your problems? All that money. I'm paying him every month now. McAfee antivirus. I guess I'm paying his family. Yeah, from what I remember that story, as he had moved somewhere in I guess, was it Spain? They said he died in a Spanish prison, so I guess it's Spain, somewhere, some island, right? He was the richest man on the island. He had a neighbor who had big dogs, right? And apparently the dogs would disturb McAfee. And don't quote me on the story exactly, you can look it up. But he went and murdered his neighbor because he had loud dogs. No, I think that he killed the dogs first. Him and the neighbor got in a dispute and he killed the neighbor. He's been in prison a long time too. What a waste. More than likely, he'd already lost control of the company. So he'd been in prison for years for that. I'm Lisa Jackson, I'm still stuck on you. Say you went to prison 10 times, girl. You stuck on it. Shit. I went to prison first time for petty theft. I was a booster. When I first became a drug addict, I hadn't been a thief for years, right? But I returned to stealing again when I became drug addict, right? So the first time they kept letting me out. I do a few days, they let me out. And I was in jail something like 20, 25, 30 times. And eventually they wouldn't let me go. They said, if you come in here again for petty theft, your ass is going to prison. And apparently they put me on probation. That's the trap, people. Y'all out there in the life, don't let them put you on probation. You'd rather just do whatever time they give you. I took the probation, violated the probation, and that's how I went to prison for petty theft. I don't even remember what the amount was. But when I went there, they sent me, because if you get busted in California, they can send you to any prison. So I was just a petty criminal, right? Drug addict. But when they sent me to San Quentin, they sent me all the way up here to San Quentin is just outside of San Francisco, right? And I believe I got sentenced to 3 years, but I did like a year and a half. And then when I got out, almost immediately, I ran into this guy, this drug dealer. And I started selling first for him and helping him. And then eventually I started selling drugs myself. But the downside of that was people tell on you on the street, right? So the next 9 times I went to prison because people told on me that I had sold them drugs. That means they could walk away if they get busted with $20, $30 worth of dope. The cops would let them go and come and get me. So since when you're on parole, they don't have to take you to court. When you're on parole, you've been to prison. I already went for the first time, right? Then anytime they stop you for anything, technically they could violate you for jaywalking if they wanted to. But you would be on parole. That means every time they pick you up, you would immediately go back to prison, just like you never left. But the max that they could give you is a year. If it was not a violent crime, then you could get out in about 7-8 months, right? So I did this in and out and in and out, always for possession of sale of drugs. But fortunate for me, I was on parole, because if I was not on parole, that means every time I got busted, they would charge me with a new crime, and I could be sentenced with 3 to 5 years again, right? But as long as I was on parole, I would only get the maximum of a year. So much for education. Why was he in prison? Why did they put his ass in prison, girl? I just told you, honey. First time was for petty theft, some silly probation violation, technically. And after that, it was always for possession of drugs, right? Possession for sale of a controlled substance was the charge. But there were always violations. I think they only gave me a new case one time, but then I would be back on parole again. So I went every year, but basically each time was for violation of parole, right? People who do drugs, I mean, you get a bad rap because people tend to think of drug dealers as these horrible people who are invading communities and they doing. As far as crystal meth addicts go, we do meth because we're drug addicts. Every single meth addict I ever met in my life, and I did it for 17 years, was also an addict. It's a little different than, like, say, if you live in the suburbs and you just made your money by selling drugs and then went back to suburbs. It wasn't like that at all. We were all addicts. So what we do, we sold drugs to each other. That's what it was. Ain't nobody got to go trying to recruit nobody. There's always plenty of customers who were all addicts, and I was an addict years before I sold drugs for the first time. That was like a promotion. Get my book, Meth Monster, people, on Amazon.com. Most of y'all already got it. That book is sold very well. Mr. Blaine, is it true that they are going to demolish San Quentin for real estate? There is little prisoners there. Oh, I haven't been back in 20 years. So, but they've always said that. But San Quentin, when I was in there, they have 100-year, a family owned San Quentin, right? San Quentin sits on a land that you would think would be a resort. There's water on 2.5 sides of it. It's almost like an island, almost like Alcatraz, right? Beautiful piece of land in a beautiful area, actually. So it would be worth probably billions of dollars. I mean, just a whole lot of money because it could be developed. But the state has a 100-year lease. Now, I've only been out there 20 years, so I don't think their 100-year lease is up. And they had renewed it while I was in there. So they've had that. That's one of the oldest prisons in California. There's Folsom and there's San Quentin. So no, I would tend not to believe that there are very little prisons. No, they ain't had no problem keeping it full. Because you can come from anywhere in California. Right? They don't just go for what area you're in. And the new modern prisons, they're not necessarily better prisons. You couldn't escape out of San Quentin because the water, the tide, you would die trying to swim away from it. So it's pretty secure. So the answer to that is no, I don't believe that to be so, unless there's some way they can break the lease. But the state doesn't own the property. They have a very, very long lease, which is renegotiated periodically to some rich family. I guess the family wouldn't have to sell it. They could always pull millions of dollars out of it if they needed it. Mr. Tim gets going, so you have to do your best to get seen. Soul Sister, what? Soul Sister asked the question? Why you keep asking that question? Okay, Goonies. Wait a minute. Okay, Goonies asked the question over and over again. You're right, Goonies. I try to stroll back and catch the questions, but you're right. I missed a whole lot of it. Your uncle ain't getting no younger. He getting older by the second. Let me see. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. I can see. What's that? 200. There is bigger there. Sometimes it's bigger, you can see it better. Okay, I can understand jail. Okay. No, jail leads to prison. You can only go to jail so much, no matter what your kind of crime you have. Eventually, they're gonna put you on probation. Call you a career criminal. They put you on probation, and the condition of the probation is if you violate the probation, then you go to prison. So you ain't got to be in there. There were plenty of people. There are people in the yard that had drunk driving. They had a second or third drunk driving, and they were on the same yard as people who had committed double murder. So you don't want to wind your ass up in there. Who would have taken the military punishment or prison punishment? Would you have taken the military punishment or prison punishment? I don't know anything about the military. I ain't never been in the military. I was so involved in the life at that time, though, that it just became normal. It's just, I mean, it's hard the first time because you're so scared. You've heard these stories about prison all your life. And I mean, no matter how angry I get, there's real bad people in prison, right? So it was scary the first time, but after a while, you just accept it. This is the price I pay for doing what I do. Actually, prison life is a lot easier than jail time. LA County Jail was a huge, huge complex, right? And them cops, they treat you like sardines. You know, they just move you around. If you fuck up in LA County Jail, they pop you in the head. They don't give a damn. They'll sock you on your side or whatever. And people are all packed in them damn cells. And it would take you a whole day just to get processed in. They can spray you with bug spray. Make sure you ain't got no bugs in you. Crack a smile. They can see your asshole. And the process to get in the jail was so damn long. And then the food was garbage. You wouldn't feed your dog what they give you in the county jail. I mean, they call it mystery meat, right? And the only way you can escape the mystery meat is if somebody will send you a few dollars and you can make what they call spread. Now, spread, when somebody sends you some money, you would take spread was you take a plastic bag, right? And you put top ramen noodles in the bag and you use hot water out the sink. Some people would found a way to heat it up some kind of way a little bit, but mostly it's hot water out of the sink. It'll be piping hot in the sink, right? And then you put corn chips in the with the top ramen noodles, and sometimes you put a candy bar in the top ramen noodles. Whatever they sold at the commissary, which was mostly just junk, right? Snack type stuff, or candy or whatever. And you squish it all together, right? And you put a hole in the bottom of it, and that's called spread. And then all the homeboys who contributed, you would put it all on their homemade bowls or whatever. Yes, it was pretty disgusting. But when you get to prison, then you get real food. You get so much food there. I mean, everybody come out of prison fat. They're either muscle bound or they're fat. And when you're in prison, you get to walk around and be on a yard kind of thing, right? When you're in the county jail, you don't leave out of the cell, period. They have like a rooftop deck. You something go on every 3 or 4 days for an hour, but that's it. In prison, you have to work on a regular job. So the majority of your day is taken up by working. And you will work I worked in a furniture factory. I worked in a furniture factory for 7 hours a day, and my pay was 35 cents an hour. If you made 40 cents, you were a baller. I think the entry level was 17 cents an hour. So yes, in some ways, it's modern day slavery, honey, because they make furniture for all of these government buildings, not only from the city where you're at, but they would ship chairs and desks and all that shit. So government agencies wouldn't have to buy furniture. Why you keep asking the question? Let's see. Would you please hit the like button? Thank you. Right, it's beautiful. I'm not far from there. I was told they were moving prisoners to other places, and there is only 1,500 there. Well, that's small, but from when I was there for years, San Quentin was the reception center, right? So everybody would come to San Quentin in the Northern California, would come to San Quentin first. And then some would stay there in San Quentin like I did. Since I was HIV positive, they had us separated in what they converted from the old gym there. So they used to have actual fights, like real in the ring fights kind of thing. They had a gymnasium there, right? And that was in the old prison days. They converted that into a huge dorm for HIV people. So we only had a couple of options in the whole state of where they would send us to, right? But generally speaking, San Quentin was a reception center. I don't know what the current situation is because, I mean, they're constantly changing stuff. But I think the number was like 5,000 when I was there. But a lot of that was just the reception center. So you stay there for about 4 months, and then they could send you to any other prison in California. They had one here. They had one down south. They had a couple of them. They had one, I think, in middle of California, central. So maybe they are changing things in Quentin. They haven't been able to change it for 100 years, though. So there's always been a lot of speculation there because people just consider it to be just beautiful land. Wasted land, they would say. Why are we wasting our best property on prisoners? Because, of course, everything here is so expensive. It would make a beautiful little city, small city or island. They also have Treasure Island here, which now there are finally, it used to be an army base, I believe. They had an army base on it for sure. Gammas used to live there, but it's they're finally getting around to developing that. But that is an island just right over the bridge from San Francisco. So that's going to be a lot of more high-rise, beautiful high-rise buildings. Or not necessarily high-rise, but there's going to be a lot of new condominiums on that island, I would suspect. Apparently there was some kind of problem with the water, which delayed them for years, but now they're actually in construction. The Atlanta Fed is right in the middle of the neighborhoods. Okay. Yeah, I've heard that. That a lot of times federal facilities are right in the cities, right near the cities. That's not the only one. There are others like that. Federals, they have a holding facility here, but you don't do too much jail. Usually the feds, you go into prison. So they just have holding type situations. They don't have like huge jails. Sausalito is beautiful, also small but beautiful. Yeah, I think a lot of places in California are beautiful. If I wasn't so lazy, I'd rent a car and just drive up the coast to LA. Did you meet any gang members in San? I wasn't trying to, Lisa. The whole goal was not to, honey. But of course, there are people who had affiliations in Quentin. So the gym, of course, since it was HIV for HIV people, a good part of the people were homosexuals. So it wasn't like it was a scary place to be. And I was glad that when I first got there, say, oh, well, the gay people here, you know, won't be so bad. But about half of it were not gay people at all. There was regular gay, straight guys. Most of them were former drug addicts. That's why they ended up with HIV. Or they got it by whatever means they got it by. But so, yeah, there were people who had affiliations. Usually, if they find out you have affiliation with gangs, though, they'll separate you. And they'll put them in separate, because that's who, when they got in fights on yard, that's who usually fought. And a lot of times, I'm not being prejudiced, but a lot of times the Latin people were real hard to contain, because apparently the northern Norteños did not get along with the southern Mexican people or Latin people, or what they call Sureños. Anyway, they were always stabbing each other and stuff in there. But of course, black gang members were there. They kept them separate in separate prisons best they could, but people would slip through. A lot of the times, when they got into fights, though, that's what the biggest fear was, the affiliations. Everybody got to be face down on the ground. Mm-hmm. Where would I live, Chet Perry? Tim? Where would you live if I gave you $10 million? Well, that might be a nice condo in San Francisco. No, I'm kidding. $10 million, you can live anywhere you want, huh? I don't know. I think I like living where I'm at. I just get a nice place here. I might live in if I had $10 million, though, I think I might live in New York City. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would if I had that kind of coin. But I can go and maybe spend half of it, and then live out my retirement years. The thing about New York City, it just scares me, because I did move there once. But it's expensive. It's nowhere more expensive than San Francisco is, though. But it just seems to be so damn big that you're afraid to run out of money. When me and my partner moved there, the day we ran out of money, we started making our exit plan. So we said we got to get the hell out of here. We didn't. Now the night before, we still had a little change. We were out partying and dancing and all that kind of shit, right? But as soon as the money ran out, so we came up with a plan to go down to the super and fake like his mother had died or something. Like his mother had been dead for years. His mother and we had to get out of town immediately. The super, he looked at us. I mean, he's probably heard every story there is on the planet, right? But they agreed, because they ain't got no problem renting places out there. They agreed to give us back our deposit. And that's how we got out of New York City. So we were only out of money one day in New York City. Now, there's something else. If I went there, if you know somebody or somewhere you can stay or something, I ain't gonna be up in New York broke. No way, honey. It's different when you live there and you know your way around. Hi, S. Hutchinson. How you doing? watching. Sipping on some wind. You better sip on some wine, Nicole Reloaded. I can't. I'm tipsy. Drinking wine. I ain't drinking wind. Okay. It's your wine, honey. I'm on my phone. I can't be. This is two bushes, but I want to say it. Well, hello, S. Hutchinson. Your story is fascinating. Yeah, I wrote it all down in Meth Monster available on Amazon. $4.99 download, honey. $4.99. You can hear the story, the tale, and the deliverance that it is no longer the truth, honey. Now, if I was still a criminal or an addict or anything, I would not be wanting to sit over here and spilling my guts. But since I don't do it no more, then it's just a story, honey. When you get old, all you got left is your stories, you know. I lived in Soho in the late 90s. It was high as fuck. If you didn't have money, you would be screwed. That's true. It's the same way it is here. I ain't gonna come here and broke shit. I got out of the pen. When I got clean, I stayed in the system for a long time. I went from drug program to sober living to this Section 8 joint venture with the city, which is half drug program and half housing. I went through everything. I never left the system after I got it. Eventually, about 15 years ago, I was able to actually be self-sufficient here. But it took a long time, honey. I wasn't going to take no chances, period. You wash your mouth. Soul sister number one, it's Nicole's birthday today. Oh, can you sing for her? Happy birthday, Miss Nicole. Happy birthday. Oh, you want a man to sing it? Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Nicole. Happy birthday to you. She said, oh, that still seems a little gay, honey. That's male and female mixed together. Happy birthday, honey. What's your cash app? I got it. I'll take care of it tomorrow. You can have one on me. That is a white birthday song. Y'all kill me with this white shit. White, black, everything. That statue, what color is that motherfucker? Right, girl. People, we are citizens of the world, honey. Every song don't have to be black, honey. Every song don't have to be, every movie you watch doesn't have to be a black movie. And don't lie to yourself and say you've only seen black movies, because it's not the truth. You've had other shows that you've enjoyed, right? There's all kind of people in the world, honey. All kind of artists in the world. You know, stretch your right, let your mind, wake up your mind and relax. I don't know why a lot of black people feel like they have to prove that they're black, though. I've never been that way. I never had. I never had to wear a dashiki. I never had to do all this stuff, power to people, like do all this Monique shit. I just know that, I mean, that's who I am. It's not something that I've chosen to be or something that goes away or anything else. I'm a black man. That's my experience. I ain't got to prove shit. Nothing. So you can enjoy more than one thing. I think, sure, you should just support your own communities, right? You want to support your own people, but at the same time, you can still enjoy other cultures, other experiences, other entertainment. I mean, we entertain them. Hell, why can't they entertain us? I don't believe in that shit. I ain't here to tap dance, honey. No, Monique, with all of her, power to the people stuff, girl, she just gets on my nerves. Miss Monique. She be talking all that shit. Child, all it is, she wants more money. I'm going to get it for Hattie McDowell. Girl, you're going to get it for Nicole. That's what you're going to pay your mortgage with. And you better catch some of them bills, girl. Stop being silly. She could still have another resurgence. Nicole's a talented woman. I mean, nobody can take it from her. She just focus up. They just got to get her the right manager, the right people behind her, so she can go and get a couple of good projects so she can retire with. It won't be long, Miss Nicole. Shit. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Believe it or not, the song was around before Stevie sang it. But yes, that is the chosen song. That's my favorite one. Mm-hmm. Is she hard up for money? Oh, you ain't got to be hard up for money. Get a little tip for your birthday. Mm-hmm. 21 years young, huh, Nicole? That's that heart. Singing with some soul, baby. You got to have some snap to it. I guess that's true. I guess I'm that way when it comes to gospel music, though. I can't go into no traditional Christian church. They got to be gospel singers. I'm sorry, child. I'll be sitting up here. You got to put a little snap in it, baby. No, it hasn't. I keep sweating though, so it's humid here. But you're right. It's not gotten hot here yet. Blind spot. Timothy, aren't you glad it hasn't been that hot in California the last 2 days? I live in Sacramento. Oh, Sacramento, similar to here. Yeah, we get a little bit cooler here because we're surrounded by water. But yeah, San Francisco, we don't get that hot here. I mean, we have a few days. I would be surprised if you had 10 days a year where it's hot, like 80-some degrees, where it's not cool at night, right? There are a few days like that, but not very many, really. And we're already what? It's already getting ready to be July, middle of June. 41 years young. That's a good age. 41, you're in the prime of your life, child. Mm-hmm. Do you know Another Star by Stevie Wonder? Nope. I don't know Another Star. Maybe if you hum a bar. Your dogs howl and sing. Oh, they got the cutest little dog talk. You put in your search engine, talking dog. This guy usually comes up right at the beginning, right? The video is only, I think it's 2 minutes or something like that. But it's this guy talking to this dog, talking dog, right? And the guy is teasing the dog. He said, "I found some beef in there in the refrigerator. I was cleaning out the refrigerator and I found some beef." And the dog said, "What are you doing?" "I ate it." Oh! Oh! Then he said, "Yeah." Then I saw some chicken in there, and I covered it with cat treats. Well, yeah. What are you doing? I gave it to the cat. It's so cute. I wish I know how to repost some. Y'all check that out. Called The Talking Dog. I'm sure there's several of them on there, but his usually comes up first. He also gave them to the cats. I love that. I probably posted it on my Facebook probably 10 times. Every few months I repost it again. I think it's so funny. Where they dubbed the voice. Mm. He also gave some to the cat. That's the crowning insult. Oh, and I put some bacon around it. Did you like that? What are you doing? I ate it. Ah! Oh my goodness. Nevada has a water shortage. We need some rain. Oh, you're in the middle of the desert, I imagine. Water shortage, though. So your water comes from the same place as LA? Oh, that's got to be horrible. You need the water, right? I guess the casinos and all that will have bottled water anyway, but you got to have water to wash your hind parts. That screen. I love that little video. 2 days ago, the El Dorado Casino Resort. Oh, you were there too? Did you run into the children? Blind spot? Did you run into the Bradley bunch? Or were you there with them? Is a psychopath. Tries to kill us every day. Georgia weather is hot. I think it's hot everywhere. Is that global warming? My friend was here visiting yesterday. He's from he lived here for most of his life, and then he moved to Palm Springs. He said it was 126 degrees there. I can't do it. I can't even walk from the car to my damn house. I went to Palm Springs one time. I said, God, I can't even breathe. They even have, you come out of the building, they got little water that drop spritzers that drop all over you just coming in and out of buildings. No, not for me. I won't be retiring to no damn retiring to no Palm Springs, that's for sure. Oh, baby, we've been on here an hour and a half. Lord have mercy. Happy birthday, Nicole. All right, thank you guys for coming in. We're glad that where is that? Okay. Yeah, Brianna didn't take it to be offensive at all. So I just want to make a comment about it. Later, guys. Talk to you later.